Today I fucked up by trying to impress my girlfriend's cat. So my girlfriend Leah has this cat named Potato. He's a huge orange tabby, like 18 pounds, super chill. I've been dating Leah for about 5 months, and Potato tolerates me, but doesn't really like me. He'll sit on her lap, but if I try to pet him he just leaves. Sunday I'm at her apartment in Portland, and she's in the shower. Potato's sitting on the back of the couch doing that slow blink thing cats do. I read somewhere that if you slow blink back at cats it's like saying, I love you in cat language, and they'll trust you. So I'm sitting there slow blinking at this cat, really committing to it. Holding eye contact, slow dramatic blinks, the whole thing. Leah comes out of the bathroom in a towel. Sees me intensely staring at her cat, blinking in slow motion. Just dead silent. Blinking. She goes, "What are you doing?" I panic and say, "We're communicating." She starts laughing so hard she has to sit down. Asks how long I've been doing this. I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes? Felt longer, honestly. Potato jumped off the couch and left the room. Didn't work at all. But wait, it gets worse. Later that night we're at dinner with her friends. I don't know these people well, met them maybe twice. Leah tells them the story. They think it's hilarious. One of her friends, Maya, goes, "Honestly, that's really sweet though. My boyfriend won't even try with my dog." I'm feeling defensive at this point, so I say, "I've been doing a lot of research actually. Like, did you know cats have a third eyelid?" Leah looks at me. "Have you been Googling cat facts to bond with Potato?" I have absolutely been Googling cat facts to bond with Potato. Her friends are dying. One guy almost spits out his drink. Maya goes, "Please tell us more," and she's not even being mean, she's genuinely delighted. So now Leah's entire friend group knows I've been studying cat behavior like I'm preparing for an exam. She updated her group chat, and apparently I'm now Cat Facts' boyfriend. This morning Leah texted me an article about cat psychology with the message, "For your research." Potato still doesn't like me. Too long, did not read. Tried to bond with girlfriend's cat using slow blink technique. Got caught having an intense staring contest with a cat. Admitted I've been studying cat facts. Now I'm a meme in her friend group. Don't be a fool, you've made your girlfriend laugh, and she thinks you are cute. This is massive success. P.S. Today I fucked up, not found. I really like her. I'm willing to be Cat Facts' boyfriend, if it means I get to keep dating her. Even if Potato never respects me. If you are relaxed and slow blink, and do the other stuff cats like, you will eventually warm up. Watch Jackson Galaxy's YT channel for plenty of ideas and advice to try. Have you tried bribing Potato with treats? Probably works well on a 18 pounds cat. Endearing yourself to your girlfriend and her friends? You know you didn't fuck up. As a dog person, I try to ignore all cats, and interestingly, that makes them come to me. Bit like children. That's not foo, you did great. Today I fucked up by skipping my flu shot appointment. Obligatory not today, last fall. I made an appointment at CVS for my flu shot, but I was lazy and kept pushing it back until eventually I just canceled it and figured I'd be fine. Flew out to visit my mother for Christmas. Spent Christmas Eve with the whole family, ages 1.5, 85 years. Woke up Christmas morning feeling like I was dying. You know what I mean? My whole body hurt, my head was stuffy, all I wanted to do was sleep. So I took some NyQuil. My next clear memory is January 28th. I had the flu, which became necrotizing pneumonia, and I became septic. I was put on a ventilator and in a medically induced coma for a month. I almost died from the goddamn FLU. I have brief flashes of what happened in the days between Christmas and December 29th, when my mother called the ambulance. I have clearer memories of the nightmares I had while comatose, then back to brief flashes as I regained consciousness. Long story short, get your fucking flu shot. I was healthy, relatively young, early 40s. And if I hadn't happened to be visiting my mom, I would be dead. I would have died alone in my house because I didn't feel like walking the 4 blocks to CVS. I'm fully vaxxed now. Too long, did not read. I skipped my flu shot last year and almost died. ETA. No one at the family Christmas party got sick, neither did my mom. Thank God. ETA 2. Somehow 2 of my vague memories, one pre-coma, one post, both include shitting the bed. So if the threat of thousands of dollars in medical bills doesn't encourage you to get vaxxed, maybe that will. Edit. Spelling. I almost died from the goddamn FLU. Don't underestimate the flu. There's a reason we have a vaccine, and it's so encouraged. Influenza is not just a cold. That's why it annoys me so much when everyone who's a bit sick says, "Oh, I have the flu." No, you don't. You have a cold. If you had actual influenza, you'd notice. My doctor said, if you feel like you're dying, you may have a cold. If you feel like you hope you just die soon, you probably have the flu. I received my flu vaccine last year and still got influenza A. I'm still thankful the vaccine lessened the severity of the symptoms. Already got this year's vaccine too. Never forget that the 1918 pandemic was a flu strain, and ironically young people with robust immune systems were among the most vulnerable. It even has its own rhyme. I had a little bird. Its name was Enza. I opened up the window, and influenza. If I hadn't happened to be visiting my mom, I would be dead. Unless you caught it in the airport on the way to them. The flu sets in 4 days, after exposure. Either way, glad you didn't die. Today I fucked up by overhearing my student talk about their explicit fanfiction. I, F24, am a high school teacher who supports/manages a club in creative writing. I want to add, I live/work in Germany. English is not my first language, so don't worry if my English skills are not what you expect from an English-speaking teacher. In my free time, I sometimes like to read fanfictions on A03. Today I overheard 2 female students talk about what kind of stories they like to write in their free time, and apparently one of my students writes fanfictions in a rather small fandom, which I also love. When she started to talk about one of her stories in more detail, I unfortunately recognized the story. Turns out, this underage student is one of my favorite A03 authors. Honestly, that is so weird to realize. I've read all her stories for years. These stories happen to be rather explicit at times. And they are just significant other good. Some of them were personal comfort stories that I read again and again. But now I can't read these stories anymore without feeling absolutely gross. Also, since this realization I feel awkward looking at her, which sucks because she was / one of my favorite students and she has so much talent. Too long did not read. The smut I have been reading / loving for years was written by one of my underage students, and now I feel weird. My creative writing teacher said, straight up write what you know, write what you enjoy. Don't think you're going to shock me if what you want to write is smut or Dear Penthouse letters. If your writing doesn't come across as believable, I'll downgrade you appropriately, but it won't be because you use swear words or sexual themes. It will be because you misspelled swear words, or I'm left believing you've never had sex. Your student is an awesome writer and doesn't know your relationship to her previous writing. Let that go, and just grade / critique her appropriately. ETA, he won the Disney Teacher of the Year award that year. Oof, that's freaking awkward AF. Good for her though. Maybe she will become a writer, though, in the future. %100 understandable, you can't read them the same knowing she's underage for now though, and your student to top it off. You're not the only person I've heard of this happening to, except it was in the opposite direction. A friend of mine is Québécois and French fanfiction in one of her favorite niche fandoms. Well, there's not a lot of it. Turns out her favorite R-rated story was written by her boyfriend's mom. That relationship didn't last long. Take a break from her stuff, and read other stuff, and come back when it's not such a surprise / shock in a couple months. Tell them when they turn 18 and graduate. Flushed face. This sounds like the teacher and one of her students in Witch Watch, an anime / manga. Except that's just about regular fanfic. Oh my god, this would be my worst nightmare. I know teenagers read and write an RP fandom smut. I did, and my friends did. A lot. And a lot of them were very, very good at it. However, as an adult, I find it extremely uncomfortable to socialize with minors online, and although I will support them as a beta reader, advice giver, cheerleader, and guide if they need someone to help them create, the idea of reading any of it just casually, for enjoyment as an adult, squicks me all the way out. Today I fucked up teaching my family the smell of natural gas, and having the fire department called. Last night, my wife made homemade broccoli and cheddar soup. It was delicious. There were no leftovers. We scraped the pan with bread to get the last of the soup. That's how good it was. When it was bedtime, everyone was fast asleep, so I went to bed. About 90 minutes later, I started to have some GI distress and gas. No big deal, took some gas meds, and went back to bed. While I was sleeping, my son started using the bathroom too. Fast forward to this AM. I get up for work and get ready, shower and everything. While I was dressing and taking care of the animals, I had a lot of flatulence, and while everyone was still sleeping, I decided to let him rip while getting ready. This is where the foo started. I finished getting ready and left for work as everyone was just getting up. About 5 minutes after I left, my phone rang. It was my wife, and she was yelling about a gas leak in the kitchen and how the whole house smelled bad. And the kids said it was a natural gas leak, so they went outside and were about to call the fire department. That's when I told her not to and confessed it was me. I had stunk up the kitchen from her soup last night. She was horrified and embarrassed because now the neighbors were outside asking what's going on. TLR kids learned a great safety lesson about gas leaks. Now my wife will never make soup again. You should try taking lactose pills before eating dairy. I need this recipe. So, methane doesn't actually have a smell. The smell of farts is the other contents of the intestine, and the smell of natural gas is another gas, mercaptan, that they mix in so that you can smell gas leaks. It could easily be that broccoli plus cheddar wind smells of mercaptan, since it is found in cheeses, and is what makes asparagus urine have that smell, so it's probably fine, but it's not the methane that's being smelt, is my point. Sounds like it's a good thing there were not matches in the room. Well, it was gas, and it was natural. They weren't far off. Broccoli and cheddar soup. 10 out of 10 flavor, 0 out of 10 stealth rating. You basically bio-warfared your own house, man.